beautiful souls, my name is Andrea and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different and it's going to be the first of a series that I'm going to open about personal talk, let's say. And I want to use this as an opportunity to be more natural, more spontaneous in front of the camera, and to use this as a bridge to you guys so we can kind of connect together and create a closer relationship. In addition to the topics that I've been discussing so far, in this series I'm going to be talking about more practical, everyday kind of things that happen to all of us and that we need to talk with somebody. I'm here to do that for you. So yeah, we're gonna be talking more personal situations or problems from everyday life, and it's gonna be more of a sit down and talk kind of series. So today's topic is inner healing and self-love. So I invite you to grab a cup of tea or whatever you like to drink and enjoy the video. Lack of self-belief, I think it's a very common issue that we all face at least once in our lives. And it comes from a belief that you are not enough. Whatever that might be the subject on, there's always a constant lack in your beliefs, so you think you are less. So I already have a video about the subconscious mind where I touched a little bit on the problem, but it was very vague because I was focusing on the psychological side of the issue and all the process that goes behind a certain belief system and a belief pattern that arises from that. So if you wanna go ahead and check that out, you'll find many information of the psychological process behind this. So I first wanna start talking about the constant comparison with other people or other situations or other environments. Comparison in general is extremely toxic. And we are always exposed to what the perfect lifestyle is, to what the perfect body is, to what the perfect family is. But there's always like a pattern that you have to follow in order to be accepted. So there's two things that are very important to understand before you start comparing yourself with somebody else again. First thing is that not everything you see on social media is gonna be true. Not everything you see or hear is gonna perfectly align with what reality actually is for that specific person. Everything is always put under a better light on the internet. Nobody shares how disappointed they are or how bad they feel or what a crappy day they had. It's always the good things that show up. It's always the thing that you want to brag about. And second, we have all different reasons to be incarnated in this specific point in time. We're gonna have different life paths and different situations that we have to go through in order to learn a certain lesson. So imagine, for example, we're climbing a mountain and I'm going this way and you're going that way, right? So my path might be more steep, more rocky, more difficult to climb, and yours might be easier, less rocky, more just easygoing to go up, or vice versa. That doesn't mean that I'm better or that you're better because you have a certain path. Because the goal is the experience of climbing the mountain that matters and eventually getting to the top. So the same thing happens in life. Like, you cannot compare two lifestyle situations or two different people because they have their own way of going, and that's the experience they have to live for their highest good. Because you see, we have experiences that we classify as good experiences or bad experiences, but in reality all those things go into your highest good, because you may have not so favorable life situation at the moment, but you have to go through that in order to learn something from it. It's up to you to overcome your lifestyle situation and becoming your better self. Another really important thing I want to mention is the constant validation seeking from our outside world. What does that mean? Is a constant, what do you think? Do you like it? Am I doing it right? Am I on the right path? The constant confirmation from your outside that you are indeed doing it right, that you are doing it good. And I'm not talking about the constructive opinion, but the actual, depending on what that person is going to say, depending on whether my idea is going to be accepted. And when you receive a negative feedback over something you wanted to be validated on, you take that personally, and it comes to a point when it starts hurting your insides, and you cannot go above that because your personal self-esteem is so low that you need to have that confirmation. So these are two very different things I'm talking about, and I really want to point that out. It's just like if you're waiting for, the red light in order to be able to relax and to be yourself and to share your light, because all those exterior things, if they're not matching it, you're kind of in a shell and you want to hide. So you have to set healthy boundaries between you and your outside world, and do not depend on what anybody thinks. Like, if it's constructive criticism, that's okay, and we all use that, but don't let it become too much. Set boundaries so you don't hurt yourself. So after a while of being in a certain emotional, psychological, or even physical situation, you start developing a certain dependence on that, because it's been with you for such a long time that you know nothing beyond that, because it has become your new comfort zone and you're scared of what's gonna be beyond that. So when that addiction occurs, even if it's like an unhealthy emotional or psychological addiction to your own suffering, like, I'm suffering but I'm keeping that situation, that pattern alive, because what happens is you start thinking a certain way that creates some emotions to rise, and those emotions are gonna be equally related to how you're thinking. I think this way, therefore I feel this way, and because I'm feeling a certain emotion, that's what's gonna be mirrored back to me from my outside world. If I have a negative belief about myself, let's say a lack of self-esteem, I don't believe in myself, therefore everything that's gonna happen to me is gonna follow that pattern, because I feel bad and I see situations in my outside world that are gonna validate that belief and that emotion. For example, I don't know, somebody else gets promoted at work instead of you getting promoted at work, because they don't believe in yourself, because they're not saying your true light, your true potential, because you're hiding it, because you yourself don't believe in it. So how are you expecting the outside world to see you as something you don't even see yourself, even though you are? So if this continues for a long time, you're not gonna know otherwise, because that's what you think, that's what you feel, that's what you see on your daily life that supports us. It's like a rat race. How am I gonna get outside of it? I'm stuck. So you become stuck. Your thoughts can be extremely toxic. So I want to talk a little bit about the ego and what it means. The ego is like a sword with two edges. It has a positive side and it has a negative side. And the secret stands in not getting too attached to it. The ego is your personality, is the story you tell yourself every single day, from the moment you wake up until the moment you go back to bed. I'm saying it's like a sword with two edges because you need your personality. You need to be defined in order to evolve in life. Like, who am I and who am I trying to become? But if you get overly attached to it, it can have negative side effects to it, because you are only defined by what your ego is, what your identity is. and you don't see yourself over that. And as I said earlier, your image about yourself, about who you think you are, and your personality can be very easily distorted because you get so much information from your outside world and you have to like filter it and choose what's right for you. But in order to do the right choices, you have to have a very good mental state, you with yourself. So you would not want somebody to have negative thoughts about yourself, to have judgeful comments or negative comments or hurtful things to say about you. Then why are you doing it to yourself? Why are you having those internal conversations that the only thing they go over is, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that better, I'm not good enough, all those ifs and all those, oh, she's better or he's better, oh, look at what she has, I don't have that, I'm not able to. You are limiting yourself and you are hurting yourself psychologically. So it's really important to watch your internal conversations with yourself. Watch what you're saying to yourself and do it in a way that's gonna bring you up, not down. Any thought is a possibility in the quantum field. So if you have not seen my quantum field video, you have to watch it because it offers information and data that confirms that what I'm saying and what I'm gonna say next is true. And it's not just a theory, but it's the actual reality. So any thought that goes through your head, it's a possibility in the quantum field. So I don't know if you've heard about the parallel universe theory, which might as well be true. So it says that every time you're having a thought and you have a decision upon that thought, a parallel reality is created that's gonna go along with that way of thought. So every time you think something, you're creating continuous parallel realities that follow that way of thinking that are gonna manifest that reality. And you can shift between parallel reality to parallel reality basing on those conversations that you have with yourself, with those thoughts that you have about yourself. So you can actually create your reality. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of relationship do you want to have? What house do you want to live in? What do you picture yourself in your wildest dream? What if those could actually become true? Follow that thinking and shift into the reality. Attract the reality to yourself. So remember that you're in a certain situation because you have something to learn from it, because it's gonna benefit you somehow that you would not have learned otherwise. Even though your life situation right now might be completely opposite to what you actually dream, you can reach that experience and shift into that reality if you are perseverant and if you're constant and if you're careful with what you put out, because the universe is only gonna reflect back to you the energy you vibrate with. So it's your responsibility to take the steering wheel of your life and to drive yourself into your best possible version of yourself. And the most important thing is to love yourself with the good and with the bad, and respect that and honor that. Because all those life experiences, all those situations that you've gone through, even though they're good or bad, they created the human being that you are today. And embrace the bad and accept it and love it, because it has created a better you. And you cannot change the past anyways. It's gone. It's done. It doesn't exist anymore. So don't over stress on the past, but learn from it and use fear as a tool for growth. Go over that fear and show the world who you really are. Show the strength that you have, show the beauty that you have, and show all your light no matter who's coming by, because that's who you are. and because you have to let your light shine. Be more kind to yourself. Be more careful of the words that you say to yourself, and don't get too attached to an image that you have of yourself, because that can always be changed and you can always reach anything you wish for if you truly want to go for it. Don't pay attention to judgeful comments on your outside world, because everybody is just putting out what they are inside, and it's nothing personal to you, it's who they are. I hope this video helps you somehow, and I hope whoever's watching this video right now takes the positive from it and actually learns something to love yourself more, and gives you a little more strength to believe in yourself. And if you like it, you can help me by hitting like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell down below so you can be updated every time I post a new video. I'll see you on the next one. Light and love.